Gregg, Maya, and Betty are not experts, nor do they claim to be. They're just a bunch of nerds who enjoy talking about movies, shows, and current events. So sit back, grab a coffee, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode of All Queued Up.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Queued Up. This is your review podcast for streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, yada yada yada. I'm your host Greg Dietz, and with me always is Maya Don Fisher and Betty Badger. How are you two doing today?
I'm doing good. Looks like it's going to be another rainy day, but other than that, I'm okay.
Lucky.
How are you, Maya?
I'm good. Apologies in advance if you hear any lawn mowing equipment. The landscapers are here. It's Wednesday, so they're conveniently mowing by my window every now and then. So if anybody hears that, I'm sorry. It just happens. But other than that, I'm good. Got an appointment to go get my nails done in about 4 hours. So looking
I hope
forward
not
to that.
with the same lady.
No, this place is actually here in town. The other place was like 30 minutes away in Norton. This place is actually here in town. A friend of mine owns it that I went to high school with. I was like, you guys cool with doing a trans girl's nails? And they're like, yeah, get your ass in here. I was like, all right, cool. So
That's good.
They said they had a new nail tech. She's young. She's not very experienced, but she had openings. And I'm like, she needs some experience. She needs her confidence built up so she can work on me. I'll be her guinea pig. She can do whatever she wants. So I'm going in at 4 to get that done. Yay.
Cool.
Nice.
Can't wait
Other
to see
than
the
that,
results.
yeah, I'll show you. Other than that, just been busy painting and DMing and stuff. How are you, Greg?
All right. Just been busy with work and whatnot. We were very late on some bills this month, and I literally had today is my only day off. The last day off I had was last Wednesday, so it's just been constant work. But other than that, nothing substantial. I do wish conspiracy theorists didn't exist. I don't know why that stresses me out so much. I told you both about it, but I keep thinking about could he say anything to my mom that's going to get her to be all weird about stuff? But
At least he didn't try to convince them the earth is flat.
I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him.
It's waiting for it.
Wait, the Earth's not flat?
Nope.
We're not going to go there.
Christopher Columbus, it was pitch.
This knowledge has been known for at least 6,000 years, so we're not going to go there.
That's my favorite story about
somebody should have told somebody.
Right?
It's my favorite shit about the shit that's taught in school is that Christopher Columbus discovered the world was round. First off, he didn't discover shit. It was known it was round before him. Secondly, he thought it was pear-shaped. Thirdly, he couldn't navigate it to save his own ass. Fourthly, he fucking slaughtered hundreds of Aboriginals in the Caribbean. We want to keep going? Anyway, Christopher Columbus is a piece of shit. Guys, today we're going to... what a segue. As we're going to talk about Marvel's Loki, which came out
this morning.
Today as of recording, but 2 days ago as of listening to this. And the second thing we're going to talk about is Bo Burnham's special Inside, which you can find on Netflix. We're going to dive into Loki's first episode of 6, which I don't know how I feel about these short 6-episode seasons, but they are hour-long episodes, so I guess it works itself out. But
I watch a lot of BBC, so I'm pretty used to 6 episodes a season.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like Sherlock, one of my favorite shows ever. Every season was 3-4 episodes max, and they were 90-minute episodes.
Yeah.
That was it. Usually 3 episodes, but I think season 3 gave us 4 episodes.
I think
like
my
mini
thought
movies.
process is I love Marvel so much that I just want more of it. And when it's like, oh, it's only 6 episodes, I'm like, that sucks, because I just want more of it. I think is my thought process on that. But
Well, but the thing is, we're being told the story that is necessary to be told and nothing extra. So I'm fine with episode count. I'm fine with episode count. I don't mind if it's only 6 episodes. Oh, it's only 7 episodes. Oh, it's only 8. Don't pad it out
I agree.
and say, well, because, network TV used to have, you have to have so many hour-long episodes for a season, anywhere from 13 to 22, depending on if it was an hour long or if it were 30 minutes, on the average. It was anywhere from 13 to 22 episodes, and I was like, fuck. You get a lot of filler that way.
Right. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think, as somebody who's watched anime in the past, filler episodes fucking suck. So if you can give us some more
Dragon Ball.
It's what's the funny part is it's far from just Dragon Ball.
Oh no, I know, but that's just the one that springs to mind first.
Yeah, I got you. Anyway, this episode, but yeah, I agree with you that like compact stories that say everything it needs to say are better than elongated for the sake of being elongated. I just want more Marvel content is my thought process. But so this story is unique to anything that's happened in Marvel before, because it doesn't take place within the continuity timeline that we've established. If you remember in Endgame, which this show does start off showing it, this specific Loki is a different time variant, as they establish throughout the entire episode. He is, if you remember when Steve, Cap, and Hulk...
Cap is Steve.
Sorry, Tony, Cap, and fucking Hulk is what I meant to say.
And Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man, okay, yeah, Ant-Man. They went back to New York, the Battle of New York in 2012, to get the Tesseract. And I believe the Mind Stone from the staff, but
yeah. Yep.
They fuck it up. Getting the Tesseract, and Loki disappears.
Because Hulk didn't want to take stairs.
Shortly after Endgame was over, they announced the Loki show, which everyone was like, well, the Loki that we know is dead, so it's got to be the Loki that we saw disappear. That's exactly what it is. The show literally starts off with that, and then the TVA shows up and takes him into custody.
The TVA is the Time Variant Authority, right?
Yes. They control the flow of time, or at least they say. I know in the comics that the TVA are the three people that hold the timeline together. They're nefarious, or they have nefarious plans at certain points, to which bigger, well-known, like more powerful people, like basically tell the TVA to fucking chill out on numerous things. But I don't know if the show will do that.
It's the Time Variance Authority. My bad. No, variance. ANCE.
I thought you said
variant.
I thought you said variance. Being over the internet and whatnot, I heard an S sound. But yeah, like the idea behind the Time Variance Authority is that there was, according to Miss Minutes, which is great, there was a great war amongst all the timelines, and it almost destroyed reality, to which then the three, I don't know what to call them, gods, basically established a prime timeline, or a sacred timeline. And if you deviate from the sacred timeline, you are now a time variant criminal, which is what Loki's being accused of here. As the episode goes on, Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, wants to basically...
Can I just say how excited I was to see him in this?
Did you go, oh, wow?
Oh, I screamed. I was like, oh my God, it's Owen Wilson! because I've had a huge crush on him for a long time. So I was really happy to see him in this. And I messaged my sister, and she's like, "You didn't know?" I was like, "I don't look things up before I watch them. I didn't know." I was very happily surprised. So yay, Owen Wilson.
Fun little thing they put out on YouTube about, like, so it was like a minute long, but Owen Wilson knew jack shit about the MCU. He hadn't watched a single movie. And throughout the production, one of the biggest contributors to giving everyone knowledge on the MCU was actually Tom Hiddleston. So what they called it, whenever Tom would have a bunch of actors sit down and learn about what's going on in the MCU and Loki's character, they'd call it Loki Lessons. Hosted by Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, so Owen Wilson is recruiting Loki to help him. But in order to do that, he needs Loki to understand who he is and what his purpose is, being a variant. Hijinks ensue. This episode was a lore dump. It was a massive lore dump. But it needed to be. It needed to set everything in motion, essentially.
Yeah, it set the stage.
Yes. I personally found the part where, like, Miss Minutes is explaining what a time variant is and deviating from the sacred timeline and who the TVA is and all that kind of stuff. I was just so fucking happy that they were using everything from the comics. Like, the word Nexus popped up twice in that, and I was like, oh, thank God. Because the word Nexus is important. We kind of talked about it with WandaVision, you know, her being a Nexus being and whatnot. So I'm happy that Marvel's going in this route. And I tried to warn people, like, Marvel's going to be going in some weird fucking places. It's going to be going into some strange fucking places, and the TVA is arguably the weirdest.
I did find the technology very interesting because it was very retro. You know, so I know that's got to play into that.
Retro yet futuristic at the same time.
I mean, it was like what retro would have thought was futuristic. You know, what they thought was futuristic in the past.
Something I fucking love is the aesthetic of retro future. I fucking adore that. A perfect example of that is a movie called Fallout. Is definitely retro future. Apocalyptic retro future, just because, like, it existed in a world that was already retro future, and then the apocalypse happened. But Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow is totally retro future.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah, it's great. Trying to think of some other movies that do retro future. I know that watching Alien now is retro future, but at the time it wasn't. That's actually something I like to explore at some point in the future.
Legion.
Like movies that...
Legion. Did you ever watch Legion on FX?
I did.
No, I didn't. I should have, because I heard
it was brilliant.
It was good.
I didn't know that was retro future. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Anyway, point is it looks 60s, 70s inside there, like that kind of vibe to it. I couldn't pinpoint a decade, but...
And that's the whole point. So you can't feel a pinpointed decade, so it feels like it could be any time. But yet, obviously...
It kind of had a Doctor Who
past.
vibe for me. I don't know why, but it felt a little Doctor Who-y kind of, you know. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Absolutely, especially when it gets on the little cell and there's that little formed computerized robot screen with the smiley face on it. I was like, that's so Doctor Who.
I mean, but, you know, of course, as soon as Owen Wilson walks out of the room to talk to Chicky, I was like, this isn't going to end good. Don't leave Loki alone. You just don't leave Loki alone. I was fucking right. You don't leave Loki alone, man. Yeah. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I like that Jeff got to watch it with me too this morning.
Oh, nice.
That was nice. So I am curious to see where they're going to go with the second episode, since this was basically setting the stage. You know, and I told Jeff, it's like, you know, don't tell him he's going to kill his mama, because he will do anything through heaven and hell to make sure he saves his mama, because he loves his mama. That's one thing about Loki. Loki loves his mama.
You know what?
Don't
I
talk
think
shit about Loki's mama.
Yeah, like when Mobius revealed to him that he ended up killing his own mother, I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. He inadvertently did that, which I haven't watched the fucking Dark World in a long time, but
my favorite of the Thor movies,
which is mind blowing to me. But
it's so good.
I thought it was good.
I didn't say it was bad. It's not my top one.
It's definitely mine. It's the most closest to the feel of the comics, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much.
I agree.
Whereas everybody else tends to enjoy Ragnarok.
Here's my thing about the comics, though, when it comes to Thor, is I find them like overly silly and kind of just over the top. And I don't have a problem with Thor going over the top, but I thought that Ragnarok did over the top better than Dark World. So that's why I liked it. But getting off track here. Loki's journey in the sacred timeline, him having to experience that in the way that he did, this variant, was so fucking rad. Like, I loved the idea. Like, yes, it was emotional, and he was very beaten up over it, but I just ate that shit up. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect for character building. This is perfect for him to understand what he is now, what this version of him is. I loved it. I was so happy with it.
I love the fact that he was DB Cooper.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That was so funny. He's like, I lost a bet to Thor and Heimdall.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I wonder how they're going, because I know I think we brought this up in one of our group DMs. The fact that Loki is gender fluid.
Yeah.
You know, so are they going to bring that out in the...
They did. They actually, if you look at his apprehended sheet in the credits, it actually says under gender, it has fluid.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. You have to pause it and catch it, but it is in there.
But you all know why he's gender fluid.
Yes.
Okay, because a lot of people don't actually know the mythology, and
I was gonna say
in the mythology he's totally gender fluid.
I was gonna say they utilize that mythology, that like literal mythology in the comics too, with him being female Loki for a hot minute. So, and he'll switch whenever the fuck he
he can do that.
One thing that I thought was really funny about this, and I was looking at Twitter like 1 in the fucking morning, but the drawer that guy opened, and they were just infinity stones in there that are used as paperweights. People were so pissed off about that, like legitimately super angry. And I was like, why are they so fucking mad? And it was because they felt like, Black Widow died for nothing, and that all like that Tony died for nothing, that they could have just given those. And it's like, did you miss the part about the show where the sacred timeline is a bunch of stuff that's supposed to happen? So as the Infinity Stones and the Tesseract and probably a bunch of other fucking MacGuffins throughout Marvel, they don't have the power or necessity to have the power that they do in our world, in our timeline, as they do in the TVA, which is outside of time. And people that went right over people's heads. I was like, no, they're not. They're like the Walkers, but they're not the Walkers. It's so funny, but I thought that shit was hilarious when he just this drawer full of fucking Infinity Stones. Trying to think of anything else.
And that was something that they established immediately, is like these objects. They give you the visual clue first that these objects don't work within the presence of the TVA, because Loki's able to pick a stone up in his hand and it doesn't do anything. It didn't, like, how when Star-Lord grabbed it, it started ripping his essence away, essentially. until the other Guardians, helped join hands, and the power of friendship won the day after the dance off.
Power of family. Just FYI.
Oh, well, excuse me. I'm sorry. I
'Cause he
confused
sees
My
it-
Little Pony in there.
Look, he could. I'm just saying, a lot of people say power of friendship, but he did look over, and when Gamora went to grab his hand, he saw his mother. So, just saying, it's family. It's more Fast and the Furious than My Little Pony. I'm just saying.
Hey, have you watched My Little Pony? It's a fucking awesome show.
Hey, but I was just making a joke because of the family line in every Fast and the Furious movie. It's funny to me. It's funny.
Do you know Q is in My Little Pony?
Yeah, doesn't he voice the giant dragon thing?
Yeah, Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember.
Fucking love it. That show was amazing.
Nothing against it. Anthony, the guy that I do the Mission Start podcast with, he loved it, and he'd always send me clips of like Easter eggs that they would throw into episodes.
Oh,
like
God,
when,
yeah.
like in the background of one shot, there was the Doctor and I think Clara as a companion.
Yep.
There was a shot of two ponies that look like the Lutece twins from BioShock Infinite. Whole bunch of shit, just a ton of shit.
Oh yeah,
throughout
they totally threw in all kinds of stuff. Even like some of the names of their episodes were basically, this is made for adults. The kids are going to get it. The kids are going to love it. But as adults, you're also going to love it. Because I didn't think I was going to enjoy My Little Pony, but I fucking loved it.
So fun
great.
fact about that, and I love this. So I've never been against adults liking My Little Pony. I was a little confused by it when it first happened because it was like a big thing, like, oh, all these 30-year-old men are really enjoying My Little Pony, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I went and, instead of just going like writing it off as some bullshit, I literally was like, I'm gonna go watch some episodes. I'm not gonna judge until I see. And I watched the first 2 episodes and I went, that seems very much for little kids. I mean, the animation's nice. Maybe there's stuff down the line. And I never judged. I was just kind of like, cool, you like My Little Pony? I don't, so move on. And Anthony started showing me a bunch of stuff about it, and I was like, oh, that's okay. So that's got to be why. Like, it's written by people who are just giant nerds. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched this small, like 5-minute thing, and it was the creator of it. She was tasked with writing this new My Little Pony for this generation, and she said she didn't want to make it like it was in the 80s, but she grew up on the 80s one, and she wanted to make something that was special for girls now. And she was trying so hard to figure out how to make it work, and so she did. And she all of a sudden hears that there's this massive adult following of it. And she was so like taken aback. She's like, I didn't think that was going to happen. I knew that some adults were going to like it, but like, it's a massive fan base based on something that I wrote. And so she, and this was like seriously after the first like few episodes aired. And she full on, like, her and the writing staff full on embraced it. Just full on. We're like, yep, we're doing this. Now we're going to make things for adults in the show.
Yeah, I mean, we would actually come together and sit down and watch My Little Pony when the new episodes would come on.
Yeah.
She loved it, I mean, we didn't mind. I mean, it was funny to us.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, I haven't watched anything past this 2 episodes, so I probably could, but also I like want to finish a bunch of other fucking cartoons. I want to finish Adventure Time and then watch the stuff that's on HBO Max, a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, no judgment on any adult who watches it because I get it. So, but anyway, off track. Back to Loki. Yeah, I don't know. It was a very nice episode. It was a lore dump. It kind of explained way more than I thought it was going to. It sort of revealed the villain, but I'm pretty sure I know what the villain is or who it is, outside of being Loki.
Who?
The female version of Loki.
Ah.
Yeah, that's who I think it is. Because 2 things. This woman has been cast in this show for a hot minute with no name behind her character. And now when you look at the IMDb, she's the only actress in the entire cast who doesn't have a character tied to her. So I think that'll be revealed next week.
Which actress?
Trying to remember her name. Give me a minute here.
Oh, I can look it up.
I'm doing it now. Sophia Di Martino. Oh, she's not the only one. There's a bunch of... Well, I know who she plays. Well, that's just incorrect, IMDb. Fix your shit. But there was a behind the scenes shot, like somebody fucking snapped a picture, and you can see Sophia wearing what looks like Loki's outfit, and she's just kind of like she has like a jacket on. So that's the assumption. I could be way off base because we know Marvel and how they do shit. So I have been wrong a lot with the past 2 shows. So I'm totally accepting that I'm wrong.
I'm looking forward to it. Do we want to grade it?
Yeah. Final thoughts and a grade. I'll just go first. It was a solid A. I really enjoyed how they, gave every piece of information they could about the TVA at the moment. I do think that the Miss Minute cartoon bit was total propaganda, and there's something behind that. So I loved that immensely. It was also really funny, but also heartfelt at the same time. So I really enjoy how they're writing this version of Loki, and I can't wait to see other time variants that they go into to fix things. Very excited about that. So, I can't wait to watch more. And we're going to be reviewing every episode until the show ends on this podcast. I don't think there's any. I mean, everyone did a great job. It was awesome to see Owen Wilson in a role that I think is very suiting for him. I don't know. I don't know what else I can say. I'm just excited for more of it. Betty?
I definitely give it an A+. I was fangirl excited to see Owen Wilson. And I love Loki. I love Norse mythology to begin with. I find it interesting what Marvel has done with it. And the fact that they are going to bring out what I've always found to be one of the main components of Loki, the gender fluid aspect of Loki, is going to be fabulous. So I'm looking forward to it. Owen Wilson was just like cherry on top of the cake, man. Love it. So yeah, A+ for me. What about you, Maya?
I'm giving it an A. It was a lot of fun. I love the visual stylings. I love the exposition we're getting from all the lore. I'm excited to see where it goes. I want to see more.
All right.
There you go. All right, so now we're going to move over to Bo Burnham's Inside, his newest Netflix special. It's very hard to kind of give a synopsis for this special because it's all over the place. And Bo actually gives a warning like pretty early on in the entire special. Like, there's no theme to it. It's just whatever he wants to make. And I had done a 10-minute video that we were going to put up on the YouTube page about this show because I didn't think Betty was going to be interested in it. I just didn't think that you were going to watch it. And then I wasn't sure where Maya stood on it because I know that we've mentioned Bo Burnham's comedy in the past. But I wasn't sure if this was something you were going to want to watch. So I just said, fuck it. I'm watching it because I'm a big Bo Burnham fan, huge Bo Burnham fan. So I want to check it out.
And see, I guess I hadn't made that known at this point because I also am a big Bo Burnham fan. I have been since he, first came out on YouTube. I've watched this kid grow up, and now he's he's 30 years old. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I love him. Of course, I was going to watch it, and then I found out you were a fan too, and I knew Maya was going to hate it. But that's neither here nor there. I didn't watch it because. I didn't watch it with Jeff either because I knew this was not something that he was going to enjoy. It's like when I watched Underground Railroad, I did not watch it with him because
I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit.
Knew he wasn't going to enjoy it.
Right. So I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here because I've watched this thing 6 times now.
You have.
I have.
I don't think I could do that.
I absolutely adore this thing on multiple fucking levels, and actually, as a matter of fact, Thursday, which is tomorrow for us recording this, and yesterday by the time this episode comes out, he's putting out all the songs as an album on Spotify and other digital platforms. This is S tier. Like, it goes above an A+ for me on this thing. Like, this is one of the best fucking things I've ever watched in my life. I absolutely fucking love it.
Can I ask you, before we ask why Maya didn't like it, can I ask you, what is it about this show that you love it so much that you've already watched it 6 times? What is it that calls
Bo is not
to
a
you?
comedian. Bo is not a comedian. He's made comedy songs, yes. He's not a comedian. He is a theater kid. And if you watch, let's say, Make Happy, this is painfully evident. In Make Happy, which never had an album attached to it, it was just a show. He very much talks about, at the end of it, not being happy, feeling depressed, and having anxiety, which he does express in this special as well. And so watching his descent into mental illness, in different forms of mental illness too, was and doing it in performative art was incredibly impressive to me. The first half of this is him doing his same typical shit, but in a different way, because it's been 5 years since we've seen him. And a lot of the songs in it, like, they have double meanings, triple meanings on like White Woman's Instagram has multiple meanings to it. I've seen a lot of people say that White Woman's Instagram is this misogynistic take on white women. I was like, no. He's actually defending white women to an extent in this, but he's also pointing out
he compares it to Heaven, but it's also very generic because it's White Woman's Instagram. And I'm like, yeah.
There's a subtle
my Instagram.
There's a subtle, and it's fun, but there's a subtle moment in it that I think goes over, like, a lot of people don't catch it, and that's the moment where it's the breakdown of the song where he's talking about the white woman is saying, like, talking to her deceased mother and father, saying, like, she's made it and whatnot. The aspect ratio changes to be full screen, and it's because he's humanizing these women. He's humanizing these people, as in, they just want to be seen. They just want to be known that they exist and that they have feelings and their personalities, and that to just be derivative and make fun of their Instagram isn't fair. But then the aspect ratio goes back here because it goes back into what the original meaning was, what he was trying to say. But that's my point, is that that each song has multiple angles to it. The performance angle of him being a theater kid and do, like, the song Turning 30, where he has 3 lights set up and he has his phone, and he's just kind of flashing the background as a beat hits, but he's switching the angle to the light. Fucking beautiful. Like, one of my favorite songs in the whole thing is Welcome to the Internet, where in my mind, the way that he presents this with the lighting and the song itself is the internet is Satan. But Satan presents himself like, here's how I envision that song. So the beginning of it is a ringmaster, like a Barnum and Bailey kind of guy. And he is presenting the internet like it's the next greatest thing. He's a snake oil salesman, if you will. And then there's the breakdown. And it's supposed to be like this love affair between the user and the internet. And then the laugh comes in. And in my mind, this guy's suit turns bright fucking red. He grows horns and his glasses are bright red. And then he sings the chorus again. And I'm just like, it's fucking perfect. It's so fucking perfect. But then the show takes the dark turn. And it's around turning 30, maybe a little bit after turning 30, definitely after intermission. And it starts to show his kind of descent into this very depressive state of disassociation, derealization, and him kind of lamenting that in a lot of songs that he sings throughout the final parts of this show. It got to the point where I was really concerned about Bo Burnham's mental health. Like, is he okay in regards to suicide? There's a beautiful shot in this show, by the way, in this thing that I fucking love to death. And it's poor choice of words on my part. It's him, like, 3 months into making this, talking about not killing yourself. Like, it's the part where he's like, if you think about killing yourself, don't do it. And it's that speech, but then it cuts to him like 10 months into making it. He has the long beard, long hair, and he's projected his younger self on his chest, telling his older self not to kill himself. That is a struggle that I think so many people deal with, that there's that part of your brain that tells you not to do it, but are you listening to it or are you ignoring it? And that's what that said to me. That's what that expressed to me. There are a lot of direct things in this too. Like, I think one of the songs that happens early on with The Way the World Works and Sacco, think about how that's contextualized. Sacco's the one that starts talking about the real problems in the world, right? It's not Bo, it's Sacco. And when Sacco gets angry at Bo, what does Bo do? He tries to rip him off his hand. This to me was symbolism for the fact that the rich elite do have control over the people who know what the real problems are, but keep them in line. The line, who's on whose hand here, express that. Yes, directly, it's funny because it's a fucking sock as a puppet, but outside of that, it's more in line with how the world works, with the rich elite keeping the downtrodden down. I literally, like I said, I've watched this 6 times. I watched it high, like really fucking high one night. And there was a couple things I noticed while high, like the in-between shots, the melody that he used in the very first song, he uses throughout the entire show. It's just the pitch shift or the tone is different, but it's the same keys. It's the same melody. Kind of like how they used it in WandaVision. This hour and 45 minutes, I think it is
29.
Oh, 29? Okay. Adding more to it. Is all performance art. It is as somebody put it succinctly, this is not Bo. Like, Bo Burnham is not a comedian. He is a depressed theater kid. And this show exemplified that to its fullest extent. And I adore it. I adore it to death. Like, I can't love it more than I do. But that's how I saw it. So the floor is your guys's.
It made me uncomfortable, which I think it was supposed to. So, the fact that it was all filmed in basically that one tiny room, I am claustrophobic. When I was younger, I got trapped in a bathroom and at a gas station, the door wouldn't open back up. My tiny little 7-year-old self couldn't get it to open back up. And all I could think was, I'm never getting out of here. They're going to leave without me. You know, my parents are just going to forget that I'm in here and take off. And I've had claustrophobia ever since then. So, the whole filming in the one room thing, it made me feel very uncomfortable. And again, I think you're right. Bo is not a comedian, but it also made me think a lot of Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And, it's the ones who laugh the most that you really need to watch the hardest, because they're really dealing with something inside that they don't want you to know about. And I haven't looked up what he's had to say about this piece. Because really part of me, that's the thing. Part of me does wonder how much of this is just a performance and how much of this is very deeply real. It's like, I wanted to give him a hug. Just be like, it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I think the first half is just his basic stuff, his basic performance that he usually is known for. And the second half is tonally different.
I mean, there is a difference to these songs too. There is a very deep sense of he's jaded. He's very jaded, and I think U2 put him in a spotlight that nobody understood at the time. It was so new, And I don't think he expected what this to come out of it that came out of it. And I mean, he's done some amazing work, but a lot of people still think of him as that kid on his keyboard in his bedroom.
He
That's
hates that. He fucking
yeah,
hates
that's
that.
not him. He's 30 years old now. He's grown, he's expanded. His body of work is amazing, and he's so much more than a guy who can make you laugh. He's a guy who makes you feel. And this definitely made me feel. It made me feel very uncomfortable, but I think that's how it got its point across. And I don't regret watching it. I don't think I will seek to watch it again because, again, the uncomfortableness of it for me. But I did rate it a thumbs up on Netflix. I did. I thought it was good to see that side of him, and I hope that other people took that message and walked away with something good from it, and it helped them somehow to know that here's Bo Burnham, this big celebrity guy who started out on YouTube, and he's got fucking problems just like the rest of us.
I'm not gonna lie, Betty. One of the big things that I took away from this was that the thoughts that I have, the dark thoughts that I have, the feelings that I get, am I pretentious because I'm a white guy trying to, like when at the end of this fucking podcast, when I do all those sayings, like, is that pretentious? Am I just doing that because I'm a white person trying to feel better about myself? Like, he, in a sense, helped with that, with this. Like, yes, but also no. And I could talk about this fucking special for hours, literally. Like, there's so many angles to it, but and I know Betty is in agreement with this, want to hear from Maya.
First of all, visually, what he did, brilliant. I'm not going to lie. That's very, working with his equipment that he had, doing everything that he did all himself, brilliant. I mean, he took a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm not going to take anything away there. It's just his style. I can't stand it. I can't stand his the songs. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a Bo Burnham fan. I don't have anything against him, but he doesn't entertain me. He annoys me more than anything.
Okay.
And I didn't realize how much so until last night.
Really? You don't like God's perspective or lower your expectations? I listen to Bo Burnham on the daily.
Do what now?
I said, is it the music style? Because I know that you're a big fan of certain music styles, and if there's a thing that's outside of that, you're usually not a fan of it, even if it's...
No, it's not the genre of the music. It's just the fact how he incorporates music so much into his act and the whole performance art thing. I'm just not a fan of that style. I just can't get into it. It is impossible for me to get into it.
See, I don't have that issue. I love that kind of stuff. So again, my biggest concern with this one was the tiny room. If he'd not done it in that tiny room, I might watch it more. But that tiny room just makes me feel so fucking claustrophobic.
What's funny is I totally get where you're coming from with that, and you nailed it on the head. That is intentional, 100% intentional. So, but that's fascinating, Maya. Like because I mean, we've talked about Weird Al, right? Like, do you like Weird Al?
Oh yeah, I love Weird Al.
See, that's why I maybe
a Gen Z Weird Al.
Well, he even makes a joke in the very beginning where he writes on the board like
Malcolm
a Venn
X,
diagram.
Weird Al, me.
Yeah, like there is that. It's just so it's you're very much like my dad then, Maya. Like, you appreciate the message, you appreciate the art, but you're just not into it.
Exactly. I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
Gotcha.
I recognize his skill, his talents. He's a very stream of conscious person, but
Yeah.
in a written out form, and that's great. That doesn't bother me. It's his delivery of things that I just can't get behind. You know,
I
But-
understand where you're coming. I
but-
totally get where you're coming from with that.
but I get, I
Hey,
recognize the
baby.
genius behind everything he did. It's just not for me.
You know what's funny,
It's
Maya?
just not for me.
I was talking to my dad and I said, I get people not liking something as long as they understand it. I get people saying, like, a perfect example for me personally is I don't like Seinfeld. I don't like the show. I don't think it's funny. And I've had a lot of people say, well, you just don't get it. No, I get it.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
The show is about irony. I fucking get it. Just not funny. And that always gets to me is like, if I talk to somebody and they go, I didn't like it. And I go, oh, why is that? And they go, I don't know. I don't want to have a conversation with that person.
Yeah, I mean, educate yourself as to why you don't like it. I mean, that's the thing. Well, again, that goes also along with what I call willful ignorance when it comes to social issues. People who vote conservatively tend to also be very fear driven, and they're fearful of things they do not understand, and that fear also stops them from being able to investigate and understand the thing that scares them. It's a vicious little circle, and that's, again, I have people screaming at me out car windows that I'm a dumb bitch because of BLM stickers on my car. This is something we run into a lot in this area. We have the internet, and even the majority of us in Appalachia now have the internet. Educate yourselves, people. Please, just.
Oh, they are. They go to those QAnon websites.
That's not education.
But they've learned so much.
They've
They
learned nothing.
They found out all these conspiracies, and we're part of the problem.
It's funny, Maya, as I was talking to sorry to segue off of, not even segue, just go back to anyway. What's funny to me is that when I watched this for the first time, I couldn't shut the fuck up about it. I kept talking to my dad. I was annoying the hell out of him in the car while we're door dashing. And I would literally brought up lyrics to the songs and I was reading them. And as I'm reading them, I had to stop because I was like, these are completely out of context. It doesn't fit unless you have the music behind it. And my dad goes, Greg, I really appreciate you kind of expressing your feelings about this special, and that you really appreciate what he did and you love it. I can't fucking stand musical comedy. That's what he says. He goes, I can't fucking stand musical comedy. He goes, I understand that Bo is a genius. I understand that Bo is his lyrics are very intelligent and smart. Like, you've read his lyrics to me before. There was one song that you loved because of how clever the wordplay was. And I go, yeah, words. And he goes, but I can't do it. I can't stand it. And he uploaded on YouTube, Welcome to the Internet. And I go, well, just how about listen to the song? Listen to Welcome to the Internet. And he goes, yeah, I hate it. He goes, I can't stand it. He goes, I get the message.
There's one that he put on YouTube that did not make it into the special. I think there's a very good reason for that. It doesn't really match with everything else. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Repeat lyrics.
Repeat lyrics.
Yeah.
He's been too busy watching Inside over and over again
I know.
to even see that.
It came up in my YouTube feed, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
I totally get where your dad's coming from.
You're talking about repeat stuff. The song about like boy bands and shit, right?
Yeah, where everybody's just repeating lyrics.
That's an old thing. That's old.
Well, it said it just came out like 5 hours ago, a few days ago. So
that's it. If you go to his actual channel, it came out 6 years ago.
Damn. They lied to me.
That was in one of his albums that he released, but I don't remember which one. But yeah, they absolutely. I don't know who re-uploaded that, but they lied to you. Yeah, I don't remember which album that was on, but no, that song is fantastic. I fucking love repeat stuff.
So, have you guys ever heard of Roy Zimmerman?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, he does.
I've heard of George Zimmerman, that piece of shit.
No, it's not him. I love Roy. He's very nice. He's very sweet. But he does songs, and it's political comedy. And one of my favorite ones of his is "You're a Socialist," because he's like, "Have you ever driven on a public road? You're a socialist." I'm just like, "Yep." I'll have to send you a link to some of his work because I'm actually friends with him on Facebook, and he's so nice. I wished him a happy birthday. He's like, "Thank you." He's like, "Oh, he recognized me. I felt special." But he does. His lyrics are hilarious too. I mean, because so many gotchas. It's like if Weird Al went political.
Was it on what? Is that where he sung Repeat Stuff? Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah. Okay. It was on what? It's on. You can watch that live on Netflix, but it's on the album What. I knew it was on a fucking album. Sorry, I had to do that for myself. Anyway, yeah. So I have another question for you, Maya. So you like Weird Al? Are there any other musical comedians that you like versus don't like, or as like? Because now I kind of want to explore this a little bit.
How many musical comedians are out there?
Tons. Ninja Sex Party.
Not familiar.
Ninja Sex Party is a bit more. How do I put them in a category? They're directly comedy and they're always sex based. But there's
that's too much for this little vanilla bean. So
I think they're very funny. But it's also a lot of the sex stuff is making so Daniel Avedon he plays Danny Sexbang, and the character of Danny Sexbang is always about having sex, but much like with Johnny Bravo, no girl actually wants to fuck him. So that's kind of where a lot of the jokes come from.
It's usually how it goes.
But yeah, so that's why I like it. Like it's not there's a whole song he has called "Why I Cry," and it's a song about why he cries after sex every time. It's really funny.
Have you ever listened to any Lords of Acid? Or
Yes.
L7?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I know every single word to "Pussy."
Well, if you ever went to the Planet in the 90s, of course you do.
Oh no, I never did.
Oh well, they played it a lot.
Yeah, I was not allowed out of the house. My dad was a cop, okay? I never even snuck out as a kid. I mean, I was such a fucking goody two-shoes.
Have you ever heard of Stephen Lynch?
Yeah.
I fucking love Stephen Lynch. Tenacious D counts. Garfunkel
Can't
and
stand
Oates.
Garfunkel and Oates,
Tenacious D.
yeah.
You can't stand Tenacious D?
I can't stand Tenacious D.
Now I gotta look this up.
Oh.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
John LaJoie.
They're talented as hell. Jack Black has vocal range like a motherfucker, and they're very talented guitarists. But outside of Tenacious D,
other stuff that he's saying, it's incredible. So yeah, I'm looking through a bunch of musical comedians. I was gonna say Rodney Carrington is a country musical comedian.
I used to find his comedy funny, but I think it was more
John
because
LaJoie.
John LaJoie is great.
John LaJoie is great.
Show
I love that song, High as Fuck.
High as Fuck is good.
Yes, it's a great song.
Yeah, I
What about Adam Sandler? Because he's done a lot of comedy songs.
True,
too.
Very true. He had multiple albums.
I did too. They were hilarious. But his movies not so much.
See, I think that's what's fascinating to me is that when it comes to musical comedy, I'm usually 100% into it. One of my favorites is Garfunkel and Oates. Have either of you heard of Garfunkel and Oates?
I love Garfunkel.
Oh yeah,
and Oates.
Shelley. What's her name? Shelley McCucci and or Kate
Okay.
McCucci and what's the other girl's name?
Yeah, I don't remember because I'm bad with names. But why is my fucking shoulder so stiff today?
They're funny.
They're hilarious. Rodney Carrington is funny, but I hate that the fucking penis song is the only thing anybody ever knows of his. It drives me absolutely.
I know. I mean, that's what put him on the map, and it was funny, but he had a lot better stuff.
I sent y'all the link to that one guy who was singing, like, you know, that Facebook drama about somebody's broccoli casserole, Helen's broccoli casserole.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fucking
That's great.
hilarious.
Ricky Lindholm is the other half of Garfunkel Nuts.
That's right. Thank you. I couldn't remember her name off the top of my head, but did you see their Netflix special?
No, I have not.
Not yet, actually. I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, it came out about 1.5 years ago, I think, sometime in late 2019. It's pretty
I was a little busy
entertaining.
then. My husband had a stroke, so I was kind of out of it.
It may have been around that time. It may have been a little bit sooner than that, but it's pretty good.
Have you guys ever heard of Access of Awesome?
No.
Yes.
They're okay. They have a few good ones. Jonathan Colton.
I love Jonathan Colton. IKEA.
I'm looking through a list of musical comedians. Like, there's a bunch on here. Flight of the Conchords is fantastic.
Yeah.
The Folksman is so fucking funny. I wouldn't call Ricky Gervais because he plays a guitar, a fucking musical comedian, but whatever.
No.
Loki.
Yeah, like a lot of these musical comedians, I've owned their albums. I've listened to a lot of their stuff multiple times. Oh, Lonely Island. I fucking love Lonely Island.
I'm only aware of that one song of theirs.
Is it the boat one that everyone fucking plays over and over and over?
That's the one I just had sex.
Oh, okay, that one too. Yeah, they have, like, their albums have great fucking songs on it, but much like with comedians in general, you get that one fucking thing that everyone knows way too much. And I'm on a Boat and I Just Had Sex, or that for Lonely Island, but their albums are like tons of songs that are way better than that. The Marx Brothers, kind of. They had comedy songs, but I certainly wouldn't call them musical comedians.
Oh my.
The Main Street. Oh, the fucking new Main Street Singers. They're fucking hilarious. So they were featured in A Mighty Wind, which is
that movie is hilarious.
Yeah, tons of musical comedy in that. There's a few on here I've never heard of before, like the Scared Weird Little Guys. Don't know who the fuck that is. The Smothers Brothers are great.
No.
Arguably Spinal Tap.
That's one of Jeff's favorites.
And Roy Zimmerman is on the bottom of this list.
See?
Well, because his name starts with a Z. That's why. So, I don't know. Like, and that's the other thing about this special. Going back to Inside, I don't see this as a comedy special. I really don't, in any way, shape, or form.
No, I did not either. Performance art, definitely, but not a comedy special.
That's why I only call it a special. That's why I don't add comedy to it at all. Somebody goes
for it not be a comedy special, he says comedy an awful lot in it.
Well, that's the point. That's exactly the point. The opening bit of like the line, "Are you really joking at a time like this?" is imperative to the idea that he is not wanting to be funny, but he is arguably addicted to the spotlight. So he feels like he needs to be funny, even though he doesn't feel funny.
Do you have to lick me?
Again, I've like I said, I arguably have overanalyzed this fucking special.
Have you ever heard of, speaking of comedy musicians, have you ever heard of Bird Cloud?
No.
Okay. I'm going to send you guys a link. I'm going to share something with you after we get done, because it is not something that I want to put on here, of course, for flag purposes, but
Right.
I'll share it after we wrap up.
Okay, we'll wrap up here soon. Like I said, I mean, let's go ahead and give our final thoughts and a grade. I've watched this fucking thing 6 times. I'll probably watch it a 7th time. I cannot get enough of this fucking thing. I'll probably listen to the album versus watching it. This goes above an A+ for me. I don't know where else to put it. That's why I said S tier. Like it's unbelievably good to me, and I don't think there's a part of this I dislike, genuinely. Like, I know that the claustrophobic feel, might be a downside to some people, like Betty, but for me, it added to the performance art. So, yeah, that's it for me. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
I'm going to go ahead and say, if you're a Bo Burnham fan, this is an A+ for you, or better. I don't see how it couldn't be, because, I mean, what he does well. He does incredibly well. If you are not a Bo Burnham fan, I don't think this is going to make you one.
No.
And I don't think you'll enjoy it. I don't think I can give it a grade.
It's fair.
I really don't, because I don't want to be cruel to it, because it is genius. But it's not for me at all. And if you're not a Bo Burnham fan, I don't think it's for you either. I mean, that's all I can really say about it.
Okay, well, honestly, I would give it a B+. I mean, and it's not because I don't like him. I think there could have been other ways to have gone about this that might have gotten the point across just as well without that underlying sense of dread. I'm not sure, though. Again, it is something that I'm glad I watched it. I don't think I will watch it again. It just made me feel very uncomfortable overall, and again, I guess that's, if we've all, if you do enjoy Bo Burnham and you've gone through some shit, you're going to get this, but it's going to make you feel uncomfortable too. And some people, they, embrace that. Others, they don't. And I'm not really in the mood to embrace that right now after this fucking past year. So, I do give it a B+. It's definitely worth watching. I can't say that I would want to watch it 6 times like Gregg has, but it definitely was worth watching. So,
I don't know. It's hard to describe exactly like why it's so powerful to me, and I tried. I tried doing this on the podcast.
Again, I completely get why it's powerful to you. And, there are certain things, again, that I mentioned this before we started the show. There's certain things that everybody is going to be intrinsically drawn to because it speaks to them so loudly. This is something that speaks to you very loudly. We all have those things. And, for me, it speaks, but it doesn't. It's not grabbing at my soul like it does yours. So
over the past 2 weeks that it's been out, I've looked at a lot of reviews, a lot of people's takes on it, and the negative reviews are almost never what Maya said. Maya's is intelligent, well put together, thoughtful. These morons go, I didn't like when Sacco said those political things. Genuinely. Like the song.
See, that's the thing. I get his message, and I agree with much of what he says.
Right.
It's just his delivery and execution, while visually brilliant and very, very well done, it's just not for me.
Right. No, and I get that. Like, it wouldn't. It's like it's the same thing my dad was saying. But that's why I was so curious to hear what you were going to say, Maya, because I know that you're not an idiot. I wouldn't be doing this podcast with you for 3.5 years if I thought you were an idiot. So having known that the only negative reviews I saw of it were that, I was like, what could Maya have possibly disliked about this? I was so fascinated, and you exceeded my expectations. You're like, in no way, shape, or form do I think that your opinion is invalid or stupid or dumb. Like, it is you.
And I'm not trying to bash it, at all.
Exactly. Because you see what's there. You see what people are going to enjoy about it. You're just like, not for me. Not for me. And I applaud you for that. I really do. So,
thank you.
That's what we do on this podcast, y'all. We have different opinions, and we support different opinions. Fucking sit down if you don't. That's simple as it gets.
I am sitting down.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. This was a lot of fun. Definitely next week we're going to be reviewing Loki, episode 2. Don't know where that's going to go. If we add a movie or something, we'll let you know on the social medias, which you can follow down below this video, or if you're listening to audio, it's somewhere down below. Those are all the socials. You can hit us up on there if you have a suggestion or something in that regard. If we don't come up with anything, we'll just shoot the shit for that last half hour or whatever. Other than that, everybody, check out the merch store, which is, I always forget Redbubble, right? No, not Redbubble. Teespring. Thank you. I should have my notes up, but I thought I'd remember it. Clearly not. So, yeah,
you say that every time you forget.
I know, because I'm terrible at that. Head to Teespring. Head to our Teespring store. You can get a bunch of merch with it. We're gonna actually have something new on there, which we'll get to that later. All
right, now, if you buy anything on there, use the code AQU10 and get 10% off your order.
There you go. I didn't even know about that.
Well, I did a Memorial Day weekend sale, but it resulted in a few sales. So I'm like, you know what? Let's run some more. So right now, use the code AQU, all queued up, AQU10, AQU10, and you get 10% off your entire order.
Fantastic. That's
Which
awesome.
Basically boils down to free shipping, depending on what you get or more.
Yeah. You can pay for the shipping, pay for some part of it. Anyway, that's awesome. I didn't know about that. That's fantastic. So that's AQU10 at checkout. Also hit up the YouTube channel. We do live video versions of the podcast. You can find on the All Queued Up YouTube channel. If you listen to this on a audio platform, just take a few minutes out of your day, go to the YouTube channel, give a thumbs up on it, subscribe to the channel, helps the algorithm. But yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything else to throw in there. Maya, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Facebook under my name, Maya Dawn Fisher. It's a public profile, so if you wish to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, they're linked publicly, and you can do that from there. I don't remember what my Instagram and Twitter handles are 90% of the time, and that's why I say that. If you want to catch me on other shows, I'm available I can be found on 2 other podcasts throughout the week on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. Every other Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Figure Bangin', and every Friday live at 9 p.m. Eastern on Nerd Life Syndicate. And that's where you can find me. What about you, Betty?
You can find me on Facebook at BettyBadgerOgletree. Not .com. Yeah, you follow me.
Now you have to. Now you have to get a URL.
Yeah, right. But if you're creepy, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, I'm not gonna friend you back. Okay, so and you can find me on Twitter at Bright Betty, and that's pretty much it for right now. What about you, Gregg?
You can follow me on all socials under Chub Rock Geek. I forgot to mention, we now have a TikTok account, which I will be uploading small clips from the podcast itself up there. Plus, we're going to do dumb videos occasionally. I know that Betty was talking about doing the watermelon mustard challenge, and we just got some watermelon in the house, so I might give it a shot too. I doubt I'll like it, but we'll give it a shot.
I've been surprised by people's reactions, so I'm very curious about this. So.
Yeah, there was a chef I saw pop up on my feed that he was like, he tried it and he fucking threw the whole the slice of watermelon at his fridge. He hated it so much. So
Oh wow!
yeah, it was pretty funny.
Does he like mustard?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He puts mustard in a lot of his dishes and whatnot. He was like,
Oh,
I like
this is
mustard, I like
scary.
watermelon, but I don't like this.
This is scary.
So yeah, go follow us. It's just All Queued Up Podcast. I think it is. It's hold on one second.
He didn't have his notes ready.
Well, because I forgot about it. All Queued Up Podcast. It's one word. All Queued Up Podcast is what it is. I couldn't remember if it was just All Queued Up or All Queued Up Podcast. Is what I couldn't remember. So now that I got that in my dumb brain, so yeah, go give that a follow and see us do some stupid shit on there occasionally.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to use it because I'm old.
Well, you were able to log in, right? Like you're able to.
Yeah, I was. I've got it on my phone.
So we'll talk about after recording, like what the easiest way you can do it. But yeah, this should be fun. I think that's it for everything. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you being here. Appreciate you, giving us your patronage and hearing what our opinions are. Like I said, next week, Loki, see episode 2 for sure. But other than that, I think that's going to do it for us. I have things listed here, guys, that say different phrases that we've been throwing out as a society to try to stop people from being pieces of shit. But I don't think our listeners are pieces of shit. I don't think our listeners are racist, bigots, or anything like that. So I don't think it's necessary for me to say this stuff. I'm just going to say, be a decent fucking person. It's just that simple. Open the door for somebody. Don't expect a thank you. If you see somebody in the grocery store who's like about to turn the aisle, let them go ahead of you. If you're in line for something and you have a cart full of shit, let the person behind you with one item go in front of you. It's that simple. Be a decent fucking person. And thank you guys for listening.
Peace, love, and polypops, everybody.
Take care, everybody.